welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Barjo.
Now adjust that to exterminate.
Darren. Darren.
Oh, and I am Darren, data analyzing robot for the ruthless extermination of noobs.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, it's great to be back for another year.
Yeah, totes is. Darren, what is it you've got going on back here?
Well, while you and Barjo were away on holidays, I've embarked on an upgrade to the Den of Gaming.
Why is it all covered up?
Well, it's not quite finished yet. Some of the security systems aren't quite functioning correctly. I would advise you to stay well clear.
Well, what about you? What did you get up to over the break?
I had a really good holiday of gaming, Hex. I jumped back into World of Warcraft for the second or third time I've lost count. I had a really good time. What about you?
Well, I have to confess, I didn't actually get that much gaming in because, well, I actually went to Japan. It was amazing. Oh, it was just wonderful. I went to this place called Akihabara. It's also called Electric Town because it's entirely devoted to tech and gaming. Well, I've got some photos. Do you want to see?
Affirmative.
Well, this is me with Solid Snake. So cool. Oh, and here I am sitting on a throne made entirely out of game cartridges. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Oh, and check this out. I bought a Pikachu costume. Should I wear it now?
Negative. Maybe later, Darren. Don't I get to show my photos?
Okay.
Here I am in the beautiful underwater world of Vashia, and this is the shattered realm of Deepholm. And here I am deep in the bowels of heroic Grimbertol, fighting Forge Master Throngis. Ah!
Lovely photos, Barjo, but why are you raiding in a PvP spec?
Coming up on the show, we check out what Sackboy's been up to with our review of Little Big Planet 2. We power up the DS to play the latest Kingdom Hearts game, Recoded, and we'll catch up with some of your emails and questions at the Ask Good Game desk.
Awesome games to start the year off, I think, Hex. Let's get straight into it.
Definitely.
Yes.
Hello, Science Face.
That's Avalon Centrifuge to you.
Okay, now hold still.
Oh, that's much better.
I'm not a piece of the furniture, and besides, the viewers won't be able to hear me.
It's your fault, Darren, for covering up half the set. There was nowhere to put Sackboy, so I figured. In Little Big Planet 2, Negativitron has taken over Craft World, and he's nomming his way through every city on the planet.
This world needs only one thing. It needs a hero.
As we've come to expect from highly customizable games with sequels, you can port your original character from the first game to continue your shenanigans in the second and hopefully put an end to Negativitron's munch of death. And it was nice to see my super awesome Rainbow Pod back again too. It truly was just like coming home.
Yes, well, I'd say some of your interior design choices leave a lot to be desired.
Affirmative.
What do you know about interior decorating, Darren? Look what you've done to the set.
It's a work in progress.
Oh no! Oh. There are 30 new levels for you and Sackboy to navigate through, and once again, the game's storybook feel is very charming.
There was someone to deliver me from this putrid trough of tribulation. Oh, hello. My name's Clive.
Hex, I felt the story was more a part of this game, whereas in Little Big Planet 1 it felt a bit tacked on.
Yeah, I agree, but you know what? I would play this game even if there wasn't a story. I mean, the levels are so much fun it almost doesn't need one. Once again, the art and creativity of each world is incredible. As you make your way through each platforming level, you'll discover new tools and devices with which to get yourself from one end to the other, grabbing as many goodies as possible along the way.
There's a quick tutorial level to help newcomers, so you don't feel like you need to have played the first one to play this. And once you do get going, the game wastes no time with throwing cool gadgets at you to completely change the way you tackle each obstacle. Cake shooting guns, water pistols, and a grapple gun.
And the levels are designed in such a way that if you choose to play in multiplayer, it makes things infinitely more fun, but also more challenging trying to team up with the other person to get both of you through some of these running the gauntlet style platforms. There are some great head-to-head challenges too.
I love the little robot guys too, you know, it adds a nice puzzle element because it's not just you trying to get to the end of the level, you're responsible for all those guys too, and you need to get them to safety.
If you do fancy yourself a bit of a budding game designer, there is so much here for you to play with.
Yeah, the level editor is just excellent, and it's easier to use than the first game as well. Also, you can build levels with a friend.
Did you know that every single level included with the game was created with the same tool that you get to play with to create your own levels? It's incredibly powerful.
If you are new to create mode or level editors in general, it might be a little bit tricky to pick up at first, but I think the real fun is the hours you'll spend learning how everything works, and the fact that you get to show off what you've made and let other people play it at the end is just such a great payoff.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and patience. My first attempt didn't turn out too well. But there's not much to dislike in Little Big Planet 2, is there?
Well, not really. I mean, if they were going to bother with a story, then maybe something with a little bit more weight would have been nice, but I loved Little Big Planet 1, and I think this has really improved on that concept and made such exciting changes, so I'm giving it 9 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It's the full package, really, you know, the music and the look of the game, and it's just creative and fun platforming, and you can do it all with your friends, so I'm giving it 9 out of 10.
Okay, well, it's back to be behind the hot desk badge. You ready for another year of answering all the Spawnlings' tough questions?
You bet your gamer score I am, Hex. I've been practicing my answering technique all summer. Watch this. Yes, no, maybe. I have no idea. See, I've been working very hard on it.
Yeah, I can totally see you've been working really hard. But enough jibber jabber. We've got 30 new emails.
That's a lot.
Wait, no. 30,000 new emails. Oh, man.
That's a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, look, we'll deal with those later because right now we have some of these papery things that people have sent in, and this one is from Billy in Victoria. Dear Good Game, my name is Billy and I'm 11 years old and also a huge fan of the show and you guys. I hope you had an awesome Christmas. Did you get game? Haha. And did Darren get what he wanted for Christmas? Okay, these are my questions. Please answer. 1. In Pokemon Black and White, can you get it in English or is it just in Japanese? 2. On Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Nintendo 64, after you become a teen, what do you do? Explain! 3. Can you please list some awesome games you would recommend? 4. You are awesome. These pictures are for you of games.
Sweet art skills.
Thank you very much, Billy. These are some awesome pictures and they're going straight up on the office pinboard, which is Darren.
And yes, thank you, Billy. We both had an awesome Christmas with plenty of game. Frankly, I'm a bit worried about what Darren got up to in the den of gaming by himself.
Yes, it's concerning. I'm going to look at that later. But to answer your questions, you can get Pokemon Black and White in English, but you'll have to wait until March when they release the local version in Australia, which will be in English. It is out in Japan right now, though, and that's in Japanese. So I suppose if you mean, can you get it in English today, right now, then no. It's only available in Japanese for now.
As for Zelda, well, there's quite a lot to do after you get the Master Sword and become a teen in Ocarina of Time, but basically you must rescue 5 sages from their temples to attain their medallions and then confront Ganondorf. You know, it would take us all day to guide you through it all step by step, so we can't really help you out much more than that, but good luck with it though.
As for question number 3, well, that's tough because there are a lot of awesome games out there.
Yeah, I mean, where do we even start, Badge? I reckon it'd just be quicker if we could just show you a few of our favourites rather than listing them all.
You think what I'm thinking?
Montage.
Sandwiches. I mean, montage.
He just got his pocket picked. To Lewis.
Right, well, I think that answers everything, Billy. Now, moving on to our next paper doodad. Who's that one from, Hex?
This one's from George in Perth, who has very fine handwriting, I might add. Dear Barjo, Hex and Darren, I'm a gamer and I'd like to ask some questions. How many games have you played? Have you played Pokemon Heart Gold? I have. Do you have a light green DS? I do. What do you prefer, a DS XL or a PS3? What does Darren stand for? What are your favourite Pokemon and games? Thanks you guys for inspiring me to be a gamer. From George. Well, George, thanks for writing in, and you also have some awesome pictures, so nice work with those. But to answer your questions, well, I've played more games than I can remember, but I'd say it's got to be in the high hundreds, if not thousands. What about you, Badge?
I'm just counting them now. 6 million.
Just a million exactly.
Exactly. round it off.
Okay. And no, I don't have a light green DS. I do have a DS though, and yes, we've both played Pokemon Heart Gold. My favourite Pokemon has got to be Pikachu.
Of course, I also do not have a light green DS, but my favourite Pokemon would be Squirtle. And honestly, we couldn't say if we prefer the PS3 or the DSi because they're so different. We tend to play more PS3 while we're at home, but more DS while we're out and about. You know, it's pretty hard to play the PS3 on a bus. I've tried these solar panels and a generator, and it's very upsetting to the people around you, especially if you do surround sound. You put these big speakers in the bus and it just takes ages.
Sure. Darren stands for the data analysing robot for the ruthless extermination of noobs, and well, I think that answers all of your questions, George. Okay, Badge, we need to answer at least one of these emails, so we should just try and make a start.
Okay, all right. You boot it up. How about this one from Michael in North Lakes, Queensland? Can I have a sneak peek at the Age of Empires 2? Thank you. Well, Michael, we can do way more than show you a sneak peek of Age of Empires 2. We've actually got the game here, and we've had it for years. We can do a full review if you'd like.
I know he said Age of Empires 2, but I get the feeling that he's asking about that new one that's coming out this year. You know, Age of Empires Online.
I'm pretty sure that the letter said, it says Age of Empires number 2, so that's
Yeah, I know, but why would he want a sneak peek of Age of Empires 2? It's a game that's been
awesome.
out for years.
Because it's an awesome game? Maybe, because it's awesome.
Just roll the trailer.
Awesome game.
Basically, it's going to be a free-to-play download that has much of that classic Age of Empires gameplay we all know and love, mixed in with a hint of massively multiplayerness. Apparently, you'll have a capital city that you'll build up, which acts as your civilization's home base, and that will live online all the time. So even when you're not logged in, your capital city will be gathering resources and growing.
Interesting. Well, we'll definitely be reviewing that when it comes out, but for now, we're out of time. And don't forget, even though we've got a bazillion questions to get through, we still want more and more, so send them in here.
Settle down, little moon, or I'll charge up my laser.
Barjo,
Pork truck sandwiches!
quit sleeping on the job.
Oh, sorry, I was just falling into eternal slumber waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out.
Well, don't despair. We've got Kingdom Hearts Recoded to review. I know, it's getting a bit much, isn't it? I mean, on one hand, I know that there's plenty of Kingdom Hearts fans that would probably say that any Kingdom Hearts is something worth getting excited over, but I also know that there's lots of peeps that just really want to get their hands on the third installment. And here we have yet another filler spin-off game.
This is actually a port of a Kingdom Hearts game for mobile phones that was released in Japan a while back.
Well, it's actually not too bad. Recoded follows on from the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, and the story goes back to the core of the original Kingdom Hearts games, focusing mainly around Sora, Mickey, Goofy and the gang, rather than this Organisation 13 that seemed to dominate the other spin-offs.
When it's discovered that Jiminy Cricket's journal has glitched out, King Mickey is alerted and enlists the help of a digital version of Sora, who lives inside the journal. Sora must then seek out the cause of all these bugs. He spends a lot of his time initially trying to seek out and rescue Huey, Dewey and Louie, who seem to be trapped in there somewhere.
I quite liked this idea, Barjo. Being inside a digital journal, your acquired abilities take the form of components on a kind of motherboard, and it's actually quite fun to navigate. The combat is all a bit humdrum and done to death, though. You'll be mashing A mostly to kill Heartless and occasionally dropping a magical ability in there for good measure, but there is a cool system of weapon leveling aptly titled overclocking.
Yeah, I like that. Each weapon has a different path of progression, and overclocking enables combos that provide cool effects depending on the weapon and the path the player has chosen. And this is a choice you'll make right at the beginning of the game.
Glitches are overcome by clearing enemies from the level, and you'll also be taking out corrupted parts of each level that appear as different blocks, which adds a cool puzzle element to the game and, when smashed, often yield a tasty reward. But it would have been nice to see them take this device just a little bit further.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a wasted opportunity with those bouncing and ghosting blocks. I think they could have made the level design just more challenging. It fell short for me.
Yeah, me too. As you move through the level, just killing Heartless and removing glitches and blocks, I have to say that despite the combat being a little bit tired, an attempt has been made to keep the gameplay fresh with various boss fights and the occasional side-scrolling mission. But I still just get this feeling like I've done all this before.
Well, Kingdom Hearts has a tried and tested formula, and it works, so you can't really blame them for not straying too far from that. They always seem to add something little new to keep fans happy, but I think personally, though, they should start taking more risks and do something different, because these spin-offs are starting to feel a little bit churned out.
I think it's definitely time to get that third installment out there before all the fans go rabid and crazy.
A rabid, crazy Kingdom Hearts fan is not something to be trifled with. One kicked me in the gyros once.
Really? Why'd they do that?
All I said was Sora looks like he needs a haircut. And his shorts are stupid.
Anyway, all in all, I think it's a pretty good game. I mean, it's on par with the others in terms of gameplay, and the story, while basic, goes back to Kingdom Hearts' roots, which I think fans will enjoy. But personally, I'm just so over the formula, so I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a bad game, but it's nothing we haven't seen before, so I'm giving it 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.
And what's with his keychain? Very emo. Very hot topic.
You're gonna get kicked in the gyros again, Darren. And I'm gonna laugh. Sit back and watch and laugh. Well, first episode back and it's already over.
There's so much more to tell you, Spawnlings, but it's going to have to wait until next week when we check out Mario Sports Mix on the Wii.
And a pretty good new game for the DS called Ghost Trick.
Darren, are you going to have finished with your upgrade to the Den of Gaming by next week?
Unlike humans, I do not need sleep cycles, and so construction will continue 24/7. I hope to have work completed in time for next week's show.
All right, Darren, I'm gonna have a look.
Barjo, I strongly suggest you come no closer.
Oh, Darren, I'm stuck!
Oh, you've done it now. You've triggered the noob exclusion force field.
Turn it off!
I'll endeavour to disconnect it.
Until next week, gamers, may all your games
tickles.
load quickly. Hex and Barjo out.
Why do you have to be such a noob, Barjo?
Why do you have to tickle me with your stupid rays?
Because it amuses me.
Poop my pants!